This is Twit.
After more than a year of hype during its invitation-only Explorer beta program, Google Glass has quietly gone on sale to the general public in the United States. And do you hear that noise? That's the sound of nobody giving a rat's hind about this. $1,500 is a lot of money for something that is essentially, the train has kind of left the station on the current iteration of Google Glass. Now, we're expecting a new version of Google Glass, Katie Benner, later in the year, I think, and it'll probably be sleeker and more exciting, probably higher performance. But, you know, I remember when this first came out, I got in the Explorer program, and people were, you know, saying mean things about me because they were so jealous. They wanted it so badly and would do anything to get it. And nowadays, I don't really see that. Do you think the excitement over Google Glass is over?
You know, what were we just saying about technology and innovation moving faster than social norms and what's considered acceptable? I think that there are a lot of privacy issues around Google Glass. Hopefully the next version will do something to address that. That people don't like the idea that I don't know when I'm being recorded. I don't really know. The small issue is that when people wear Google Glass, it is oddly distracting to talk to them, and it does seem like they're not paying attention, and that can be annoying. The larger issue being, when am I being recorded? What's going on? We just recently did an interview with Oscar Salazar. He was a very early Uber employee. He helped create the software over there. He does a lot of work with governments and nonprofits, and he has a lot to say around privacy. And he thought that Google Glass was a great example of that very conflict and controversy. You know, what if you walk into the locker room and somebody's wearing their Google Glass? Like, is that okay? What are the rules around that? What are the socially acceptable rules? Are we as a society going to change and catch up? So I think that's sort of something underlying the adoption of Google Glass that has to be resolved. And then $1,500, like that's my rent. So it has to be a much more convincing product, a much better looking product, and a much more sort of interesting product, I think, than it is right now for it to be worth that kind of money.
I feel like what we're seeing right now with this being $1,500 but still open to everyone means that we have quite a ways to go before we see the next iteration of Glass. Because if they were to come out in the next couple of months with a much lower cost one, people want to see Glass in the $200 to $300 price range. $1,500 to $200 to $300, I mean, even a couple of months from now would upset a lot of people based on the fact that they just dropped, you know, like you said, a month's rent on technology that soon after would be so much less expensive. I think it's a ways out. If we're going to see a next iteration, man, maybe it's even longer than the end of this year. Maybe it's into next year. Who knows? And
I think that the product's not appealing enough for $1,500 to be a price point that anybody will pay. I think that adoption will come when they get that $200 price point, and then people will start bending on how annoyed they are by it, and they'll start bending on, you know, their outrage over privacy issues because it'll be cheap and they'll want to try it, and that will help, you know, that will sort of bridge that gap. But at $1,500, I mean, you're just not going to see that.
And Robert Bigelow in the chat room says that parents with small children will want Google Glass and with its camera. And of course, Jason, you recorded your baby's first steps. You happen to be wearing Google Glass when this happened, and now for all time you will have really, you know, high quality video of this major event. I mean, who can say that they have that recorded?
I know, and I lucked out, and I was hoping that it would happen, and it all timed perfectly, and that was an amazing experience, and I will absolutely cherish the fact that I have that. Having said that, would I pay $1,500 for that capability? I don't know. I mean, in you know, looking back on it, hey, you know, it's priceless to have that footage and everything. But I don't think most people would spend $1,500 just for camera capabilities of Google Glass. As cool as it is, it's got to come down significantly in cost.
And it's important to note that the you know, Google Glass gets all the publicity, but there are going to be a wide range of devices, some with cameras, some without cameras, others far more invasive than Google Glass, others not invasive at all. So it's going to be a wide open category. I think the cheapest smart glass headset is going to be under $100, and it will just give you blinking lights for notification. That's the low end. The high end is going to be ultra high resolution that covers both your eyes with an augmented reality. And here we go. Here is the famous first steps recorded through Jason's Google Glass.
Yeah, we'll
what a great shot!
And
a third, a fourth. A fifth, a sixth.
And I mean, you know, she connects with me, right? Her eyes are right at my eyes. She doesn't think about the black slab that's blocking us. So there's a lot of potential in Glass, and things like this make new parents or parents with young kids say, "Oh man, I want that," because that's kind of the missing link in technology today, is being able to capture these things without the technology getting in the way. And Glass is great for that, but it's just too expensive.
I think the first picture, just one more thing on Google Glass and parenting, that really captured people's imaginations and made them realize, wait a minute, this is kind of a new art form, because you feel like the person that you're looking at, you see it through their eyes. It's a slightly different thing. And that's when Gina Trapani, who's a host of numerous shows on Twit, took a picture of her new baby. And it was just a really breathtakingly beautiful photograph. And you couldn't take it if you were using a hand with a camera. The baby was looking right into the eyes of the camera, it looked like. So that was really cool. It's a compelling use. But again, Google Glass is not a camera, and that's how people talk about it like it's a camera. The camera is the least interesting thing about Google Glass, in my opinion.